Hey everybody, we are here in the Geek Lab for the Geek Show here on Hipcast, and we are doing a live podcast here on You Now. We have guest Jamie, Adrian,
Hello.
and Holly.
Hello.
Holly runs a page called All Things Walker on Facebook, and Adrian and Jamie, y'all are from Walker Stalker Con.
We're all from Walker Stalker.
Well, so is Holly too. Okay. I'll let that one go. So my first question, tonight's episode. Wow. Was this the first? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but was this the first episode for a finale that not a single main cast member died?
I think so.
I mean,
Season 2 finale, main cast member didn't die.
is that a mid-season?
Season 2 finale, Jimmy and Patricia, they're the only two that died in season 2, I'm pretty sure. The finale.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
And neither one of them the main winner.
Okay, so see, I'm getting corrected wrong.
But did Herschel die before? Didn't he die when the season picked up?
I thought he died in the
On the part
finale.
2? Or was
He
it
died in
finale?
season.
I thought it was the part 2.
I don't know. I have no
I
idea.
think so too. I think that was mid-season. Yeah, I think when I watched it, it was the part 2 of that season. Yeah. But I don't think he died in the finale. No. I could be wrong.
No, Herschel died, season 4, episode 8, the mid-season finale.
So,
Okay. Oh, was it?
so tonight's episode, my first question is, what do you think of it, and what was your concept of tonight's episode? I'm gonna start with Jamie.
Yay! Awesome. I love the episode, and I think, it was still kind of, it got you excited, like a lot of different things going on. You're like, what the hell with Aaron and Bear in the car? How the fuck are they ever gonna get out of here? But they do, and then, but I love how they finally. I think a few episodes ago when they finally got to Alexandria, you're kind of questioning, who are these people and how is our group going to mesh with these people? And, we're rooting for our group, but at the same time, there's other apprentices they've got it together, but that they haven't really completely experienced, kind of the outside world like our group has. So that was one thing I loved that I feel like kind of answered, where our group is going with the Alexandrians. Like, are they going to kind of, infiltrate and take it over, or, and I love Rick's, kind of speech that how many of you do I have to kill? And I think that kind of got their attention. So, oh shit, maybe these people are right, and we really don't know what's going on. So I love that it kind of did that, and with Michonne at the end, how, first she was going to put away her sword, and then she was like, no, I'm going to keep it, and she kind of, you could see she kind of got back to herself when she put that on. So, I think that's a big turning point as far as our group kind of conquering maybe the Alexandrians, and not necessarily in a bad way, but kind of teaching these people that, hey, this is great what you've got going here, but you don't know shit about what's really going on, So I loved it. Yeah.
Holly, what do you think?
Well, I love that episode. Like Jamie said, I think Bruce and Rose and Alexandria are going to form a mutual realistic relationship. Their work is right. They do need the skills that they possess. They can't make it on their own. That's what they have, Alexandria. But then again, Rick and Michonne have a point. They're tired of
they need Alexandria. They need a breaking point. They're not going to keep on. And so everything that went on in this episode, it wasn't a cliffhanger. It didn't leave us hangers. So we don't have months of sitting around wondering what's going to happen coming weeks. But it left us in a good spot, I think.
Adrian, what do you think?
Well, it's something hard to beat what Jamie said, because she basically said, well, everything I was going to say.
You stole his thunder.
Basically, I like the episode. It was a really good episode. And I like how like they put together what we've been seeing throughout season 5. Like we've been seeing like the W's and the Walker's Head that we knew nothing about since. I think we first saw the cut up Walkers when Tyrese died in season 409. I mean episode 509. I think that's when we first saw that stuff happening, and when they went to Noah's community and we saw like the little clues with the wolves not far and all that. So yeah, I'm glad that they pieced it all together, and I mean we didn't get much information about the wolves, but like we got their background and why they're doing it, sorta. It's gonna be interesting to see how they get into Alexandria, especially since they got Aaron's pictures of Alexandria, which is like really concerning. So we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, I think season 6 will be really cool.
Did y'all notice that Rick and they added their pictures? They finally had a picture.
Yeah, they added Rick and Carl.
Yeah.
So here's a question: when y'all first saw the W later in the show, you know, did y'all think it was Morgan, or did y'all think it was something else?
I thought it was Morgan. I'm not gonna lie. No, I just. Yeah, I'm one of those stupid people they make memes about. Yeah. Because I certainly thought it was a W. I mean, I am. I'm sorry.
Well, I thought, you know, maybe he was doing it upside down. Like, maybe he was...
Yeah, me too.
I don't know, but then something made me think, could it have been somebody left from Woodbury? Or
yeah, that'd be a good theory.
That was like a theory of mine.
Yeah. Oh, I've never thought about that.
So...
I hadn't either, so you said that, so yeah.
So, how does this change everything now that Morgan's back?
Ooh.
I'm going to start with Holly.
Seeing that Morgan seems like he's on a level that Rick is. He's been through those experiences. He's had to deal with boss and being out there on his own, and he's acquired survival skills, and he obviously knows how to fare very well on his own. I think he's in a position where Rick is in. And so I think he can only contribute to the group if he should choose to do so. I think he's a great addition.
Adrian.
Well, I think Morgan's going to set Rick straight. Like, make him calm down, just sit him down and be like, Rick, get your shit together. And,
You're going to have a hard time.
Yeah. And basically, like what I said, well, what they're talking about on Talking Dead, about how they're going to talk about what Morgan, like what he went through, why he was crazy last time. And I think that's something interesting to find out. And I think with Rick, all them, it's going to be an unstoppable group. I mean, they were before, but now we got Morgan with his badass stick.
Kind of remind me of some Star Wars junk. Well, I guess use a PG rating in this podcast.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine.
Might as well let one slip. Everybody else did for you.
I know. All right, Jamie.
I think with Morgan coming back, I think he's kind of, in some ways, a little bit of a lifeline to Rick. Because I think Rick, one of the biggest things he struggles with is guilt on everything that he's lost. And I think so much of what he does is trying to piece together a little bit of a life and with some kind of resemblance of what he knew. And I think from the very beginning, when he was with, Morgan, when they parted ways, he said, since this walkie-talkie, we're going to talk every day on, and I'm going to let you know what's going on, and, we're going to keep together, and we're going to fight this, and we're going to figure out what the hell's going on. And then they kind of, lost touch. And then the next time we see Morgan, Morgan was freaking nuts. So I think he kind of carries a little guilt with that. Well, then, kind of Morgan's kind of evolved and he's come back into his own and survived. And I think now is a good time when Rick kind of really needs him. I think he's kind of turning that lifeline, so to speak, to Rick, and I think that's gonna help out a lot.
I think Morgan, Morgan to expect when we saw him, at the end of last season, because we kind of knew at the end of last season he was around. Oh no, it was the beginning, first episode of the season, wasn't it? That he showed up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, man, is this going to be a good Morgan, bad Morgan? Is he going to be the one to come in and mess up this town for him? Like, I didn't know what to expect. But on that note, does Morgan, could he be, how long do you see his lifespan on the show? Any one of y'all.
What did you say? What was the question? I couldn't hear you. Take it out.
I said, does Rick, with Rick and Morgan now being together, what's Rick's lifespan on the show, you think? Not Rick's, but Morgan's.
Well, I don't know. He's badass. I'm just thinking nobody without a weapon that didn't cut or fight well to something around with that chain. Somebody could make it through, like, as long as he could just that stick. Like when he saved them from the car, it was just him and the stick. He beat the hell out of the wolf guy with him and the stick. Like, who else? Besides, killing us for lives, but never a mass or something like that. I don't know. I just gonna make the group and Rick stronger because he survived it on his own. Like our group survived, but they've had, for the most part, each other through everything.
That makes sense. If you're watching you now, if you have any questions you want to throw out for this group, go ahead and start sending them. We will ask them at some point in this episode. So if you have some questions, we'll try to answer them for you. Here's a question. I'm going to start with you, Adrian. Has Rick become Shane?
Oh, I don't think he became Shane. I think he's become smarter with the world, and he has a lot of trust issues. I think I think Jamie was talking about earlier, Shane was more bitter. I think Rick, he knows what happens. He knows what people can do. Shane, he started out when the apocalypse was early, and he didn't really know what people could do at first. Like Shane didn't really go through like Terminus or Rick has, so he knows what people can actually do, and he has a lot of trust issues with people. But do I think he's Shane? No, I think he's just become more wise in the way he trusts people and the way he acts.
You want to add on to that, or is that good for you?
Jamie,
No, I'm good.
Holly?
Jamie, I see a lot of resemblances between Shane and Rick. I mean, I think Rick has been in a place where Shane was, and I see a lot of clear images, like when Rick's really upset, like he was when he pointed the gun at them. I saw Shane in him, but I don't think they're exact images or replicas of each other. I mean, I think we see some things, but I don't think it's exactly at the point where Shane was. I think Shane did a lot of things because he wanted to. I think Rick did a lot of things because he had to.
So, Jamie, my question's for you next. What's next for the group?
Where's she at? Did we lose her?
Did we lose her? Is she here? Jamie?
Uh,
I guess we've lost her.
oh no.
I do have a message on Facebook. She got cut off, so somebody,
You gonna get her back?
yes, bring her back real quick. While you're bringing her back, I will let A start that question. What's next for the group?
What is next? I think what's next for the group is how they're going to survive together.
Adrian, can you pick her back? Because it's not letting me.
Yeah, let me try real quick.
Okay.
Does he have her number?
Yeah, I have her number.
Oh. Huh. That's weird. Well, in the process of that, like I said, technical difficulties always happen on
Hello,
podcasts.
Jamie?
Hello?
Yeah, she's back.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. So my question I'm asking, go ahead and finish, Adrian. What's next for the group is the question I asked.
Oh, yeah, what's next for the group, how they're going to survive together. Does Deanna really trust, does she trust Rick now, or what's going on with that? I think she still has different feelings against Rick, but I think, like, after her finding out that he was that way and that he actually had to kill him, I think she'll forgive him a little bit, but I still don't know. What's also next? The Glenn and Nicholas thing, that's going to be interesting when they get back to Alexandria. Or a theory of mine is that before they even get to Alexandria, that the Wolves may actually run into them. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, just basically how they're going to survive all this going on.
Jamie, what's next that you think?
Did you say me or Holly?
Jamie.
Jamie. Oh, maybe. Sorry, Katie. I think as far as what's next is going to be, kind of, our group maybe setting some rules, in Alexandria, because I think, I'm going to disagree a little bit with Adrian. I think, Pete, Deanna's husband, I think when she was like, Rick, do it. I think that was kind of a rude awakening as to, hey, shit, maybe these people actually know what they're talking about, just and how, you just really can't trust anyone. So I think, maybe even if she is still a little hesitant, I think our group's going to have a lot more power as far as working the show. And then, of course, Carol, we're still trying to figure out, who knows where Carol's going to go. But I think it's just going to be that. I think they're going to, kind of be more powerful and not necessarily in a bad way, but I think kind of this episode gave our group a little bit more weight.
All right, Holly, what do you think?
I mean, it also sounds like Adrian and Jamie said a good thing. That it was a bond. That her telling Rick to kill him is, pretty much going to seal the deal with their place in Alexandria. And that was kind of just her way of saying, in that moment, the best she could, kind of thank you and kind of telling the truth by telling him to kill one of her own. And I only see it getting stronger. And the Wolves have been out there on their own. They've been in the position where Rick and them are, but they're not doing it for freedom. They're not doing it for just survival. They're doing it for, I don't know what reason yet. I guess we'll see, but you just, I don't know. I don't really know.
After tonight, we seen Gabriel kind of break down a little bit. Do we trust him now, or is it something that he is? Is he playing the group? That's the other question. Holly.
I think when he was going at Sasha, I had a feeling that he was trying to antagonize her to the point where she took him out. That he was looking for that way out. He was too much of a coward to let the Walker take him down, and kind of changed his mind at the last minute. But when he was going at Sasha, that was just, he wanted out. That was his way out.
And I thought Maggie was going to do it. I was hoping Maggie was going to do it. But he's not a trusted member of the group. He doesn't contribute anything to the group. He's just someone that takes up food and bullets get used for. I don't think he's anything. He's not there. He's not there for the right reasons.
Jamie.
I can't agree with Holly. Like, honestly, kind of a worthless, leech right now. I mean, he's untrustworthy. He's scared and timid, and I think he's so weak. I mean, honestly, like, I was wanting him to die tonight over and over. I don't like that they can't trust him, I mean, they took him and they saved his ass many times. And then he turns on them and kind of says, hey, trust these people. And he wants to die. It's just, he clearly isn't meant for this world, I mean, he's a minister and he turned on his church, and I think he carries a lot of guilt too. He wants to die, and I think we need to be nice and give him that. And goodbye.
All right, Adrian, what do you think?
Basically 100% what Jamie and Holly said. He's not trustworthy. He's not trustworthy at all. Especially what you told Deanna. And I like what Holly was saying. I honestly thought Maggie would be the one to take him out because she's the only one that heard him say that. She was standing there at the stairs, and you could tell that she was not happy with him at all. And then that one scene when she's looking out the window at him, like, I just felt like she was going to take him out tonight, but sadly that didn't happen. And yeah, he was like too much of a coward to let the walkers get him. So like he was really pushing Sasha because she knew that she was weak and she was the only one that like would like try to kill him. And so he stabbed her in the wrong places, and like he really wanted her to kill him.
That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. This group the Wolves. I'm still trying to figure this out. And I know a lot of y'all were, because like I said, I thought it was Woodbury or Morgan, and somebody else agreed with me there. I can't remember who. By some chance, do y'all think they're being led by a greater power, maybe? Or a greater leader? I mean, I'm thinking of a character with a baseball bat that was supposed to kill Glenn in the comic books.
No, it's too early for Negan.
Yeah, I don't foresee him until at least maybe season 7, early season 7 finale.
Yeah, I'm saying mid-season 7. But you never know.
I mean, they don't like to follow the comic books.
They like to surprise us.
Is this a group that's going to be around for a while, or do you think it's going to be a quick in and out like Terminus? Yeah.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
In the comics, like we're around like issue 75, 76, that area, and there's this group that it comes around like this exact point called the Scavengers, and that's what many of us are guessing the Wolves are called, a remake of that. So if you read the comics, you'll know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a remake of the group called Scavengers.
Okay.
So it just depends, because like AMC, you never know how they when they remake characters and how long they'll last. Like you see Terminus didn't last that long. It lasted 416 and 501. So you never really know.
Adrian, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a friend that told me so far that this season has, like, here lately, they've stuck to the comics more closely than they have before. Is that accurate?
Yes. This season has been some of the episodes they like remade and did different characters having different stuff. Like in the comics, Bob's death was actually Dale's. I mean, Bob took Dale's death from the comics, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, this season was like really good compared to other ones. Especially like, I think the closest one since before this was easily season 1. The other scenes have been remade different characters, adding characters, like how Andrea is still alive in the comics.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, this season was really close to the comics.
Well, they can't do it. They can't do it exactly from the comics because they know.
Yeah, they can.
Tonight during the show, we saw a preview of Fear the Walking Dead, or kind of a little tease.
I really liked it, actually.
What do y'all feel about the show? I mean, do y'all feel like it's gonna be just as good, or could it be overkill?
I think it's going to be just as, I don't know, I'm just excited about it, because October, like, I mean, let's face it, like, that's a long freaking ways away, guys. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to watch the companion show. Right?
I have high hopes for it.
I tell you,
It's going to fill the void that The Walking Dead will.
Yeah, no, of course not.
I'm gonna steal a quote from Undead Randy from the podcast. I kind of would like to see them use this show to explain origin stories of some of these other characters that came into the show.
Yeah, I was really hoping for like the Morales family from season 1. I was really hoping that they would be in this or something, or the.
I kind of heard that somewhere that Morales and his family would be. But
that'd be really cool. But yeah, you never know, because like this is supposed to be set in LA, and like they're having scenes shot in Vancouver as well. And the Morales family, they said they were going to Birmingham, I'm pretty sure, in season 1 when they left the group. So I don't know. Those be interesting.
If you've never taken a road trip, across country, I took a road trip to Vegas, and it was hell without the zombie apocalypse. So I just don't know if I the Morales family making it.
Yeah.
So, got a question that kind of goes back to the Gabriel situation. I'm going to ask every one of y'all the same question. If the zombie apocalypse happened right now, could y'all still have y'all's faith?
Ooh.
I'm going to start with Jamie.
But I still have what?
Your faith.
My faith? Yeah. I mean, but I don't believe. See, this is kind of like I totally think this could happen, and my own family laughs at me because, you know, I say, you know, zombie apocalypse, that could totally happen because, you know, I think just because of the fact that everyone's already infected, and like I want idiots that think, okay, you know, think of all these like immunizations and all this stuff that, you know, they're like hazardous, like this house, that's like, and so, like they could easily do that. Very, very simple. So yeah, I do, but I also believe that as a Christian, you know, I'd be taken care of it, but when it was my time to go, I would go, regardless of how it happened. So.
All right, Holly.
I grew up spiritual and I grew up Christian. I was raised Christian. I grew up in Christian schools. Went to church. But as I got older, I kind of started believing in my own thing. And I mean, I'm not religious really at all. I believe truth to all faiths, and I believe in karma and science, and I believe you get what you get, and you give what you get, and if you do good, it'll come back to you. If the zombie apocalypse were to happen, I mean, I'm a nursing major, so I know very well that it could. I mean, I've been in the lab and culture things and see how fast they can replicate, and so I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think I'd be as different because I'm not in a position to give up faith or I mean, I don't think the zombie apocalypse would make me famous. I think it would take an act of something stronger to make me turn to faith.
Adrian.
Yeah, I think I would. As a Catholic, well, as any religious person, you should, even if it's the hard times, you still gotta keep faith. as long as you can. Like, you see Maggie, one of these episodes, she's talking to Gabriel, and she's talking about how she did lose her faith. So, I mean, I think it just depends on the person, how strong you are, and like what you go through. So,
Right.
And you can't really say yes or no to this question. I don't think so, because if the apocalypse were to happen, you don't know what you would lose. You don't know what you would still have. I think it's just one of those in the moment things.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think, like, even in life, you lose a lot, and your faith is ultimately what kind of makes you or breaks you. Like, it either keeps you going or it makes you give up. So, and I think everyone, in order to survive, you have to have some kind of faith in something. So it's going to be
on the opposite side of the spectrum, though, being that I'm not religious, I'm not saying that I couldn't believe in something, but it would take, I could very well, turn around tomorrow and something's happened and me decide that I want to convert back to my initial religion, which was Christianity. I mean, I don't put it past life, because life works in mysterious ways and you never know what can happen.
And that's definitely true there, because you never know.
I could witness a miracle.
And that's one of those things, like, something I pondered, and this is a question I've asked myself, like, if the zombie apocalypse did happen, what character would I be more likely to be like on the show? And I sat there and I thought about it, and I don't think the character I would be like has came in yet. I don't think so, because I'm more of an outside the box thinker, and I haven't really seen anybody in the show that's like the outside the box thinker. Who would have y'all seen a character that you go, that's me?
Carol.
Carol. Oh my God. Who said that? Which one of y'all said that?
Ollie.
Oh my God.
Well, I've been through a lot of the things that Carol has been through. I've been damaged, and I've picked myself back up, and I've, gotten stronger as a result, and I see myself, I'm Carol tonight with the knife, the porch stick neck. Come at me. Because, you go through so much stuff in life, and then it's like Carol, it's not in Carol to be that quiet, nice, demure lady that does laundry and cooking, but she was who she had to be. She was playing a part. And, that's not really her, but you get to a point in life where you're like, damn, I've tried this, and this didn't work. I was myself. So fuck it. Let me try something else. And it might happen to work. And, sometimes you got to play roles. You don't necessarily want to, because really not a need to be dishonest. But sometimes you got to kind of be who you are. And I think Carol's got a lot of, character building. And she's built into this strong woman, once, a quiet, shy, abused woman. And she's this badass, daring grown man to come at her. It's like she wishes she could have done that with her husband.
That's true. Sorry, I'm over here yawning. Sorry, it's been a long day for me. I've been actually doing double duty tonight. Watching two different things at once. So
Wrestling.
I'm lost my voice. Do you with Rick killing the porch dick? Yeah, I use that word.
Hashtag porch dick is limp.
Do y'all see it being a problem now with Rick trying to get with Jesse?
Nah.
Yeah. I think that was going to happen before porch dick went limp.
Yeah.
Jamie?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought definitely at first, but I don't know. I think he's got other things he's really worried about now. Can we all agree that Rick needs to get laid? Come on.
Yeah.
Yes. Give him a piece. Come on. I mean,
That would make him so much more happier.
but it make me happier. But,
I can see social media.
You saw how much happier Shane got when he had sex with Andrea.
but no, I think he is kind of worried about other things, especially now that Morgan showed up. I think it's kind of refocused, just focus a little bit, at least for right now.
Well, no, coming from Jesse's side, like, you can't treat a woman like that and expect her not to want to go elsewhere.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So,
Especially in the zombie apocalypse.
is the senator, I can never remember her name, I always just call her the senator. Do you see,
Yeah.
is she kind of like the new governor?
Ooh.
I'm
I
going to
never
start
thought of
with
it like
Adrian.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that until this episode when she was giving her speech and like the way like she was wearing it and the way I think it was last episode where that she was like, I make the decision, and she's like, I don't kill people, I just exile them. Like I was like, ooh, that kind of sounds like something the governor would say, because like she was talking to Maggie and she said success won't be just what people think, but in the end, I'm the one who makes the decision if Rick leaves or stays. And I was like, ooh, I liked you at first, but like now, some of the stuff you're saying is worrying me.
Jamie? Jamie?
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think one thing with the governor is we learned pretty quickly that he really didn't give a shit about anybody else. Like he had his own kind of agenda there from the beginning, and I don't really. Jamie?
Did we lose her again?
I think so.
Adrian?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I think we lost her again. Well, I'll keep an eye on my phone. She'll send me a message.
Yeah, I'll try to call her again. The call just ended from her side, so I'll try to call her again.
Alright. So I'll let Holly answer the next part of that question while you get a hold of her.
Okay, she's back.
Hey.
Alright, Holly,
You
go ahead.
need to say something.
Okay. So technical difficulties do really happen in podcast, people. You really see it firsthand tonight. Jamie, go ahead and answer this question. Is the senator the new governor?
Is what? No.
Diana? Yes.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think she. I think that she's definitely kind of stepped into her power, but I don't think we necessarily saw that. Like I think it was before I. But I don't see her as the governor, just because like I said earlier, we learned rather quickly that the governor kind of had his own little motives, and he didn't really care about anybody else. So I mean, obviously, except his daughter, like I think he, had kind of, his attitude and instinct had kind of stemmed from loss, but he kind of just had that, I don't really give a shit about anyone else, that I'm going to be in charge. And I don't really think Deanna has that. I think she's taken the step up of power because that's what she knows, from her former life, but I also think she truly wants to believe in the good of people, and that's still good.
Holly.
I think the governor, he went through like a lot of his things. He went through everything. He lost his daughter in his life before everything happened, and he had ulterior motives because he had his daughter locked up in his house. I mean, I think that like Jamie said, Deanna is like she's just fallen into her position because that's all she knows. She knows how to be a leader. She knows a position of power. But she doesn't, I don't think she exactly rules as like the governor did. She doesn't, like they have, their little cocktail party. I do see, a few similarities, but I don't think she has the ulterior motives that.
Do you see Rick and her colliding eventually? Because Rick's been the lead. He's been a leader. He's been the leader of this group. Do you see that colliding? Jamie first.
What was the question? I can't understand.
Do you think because Rick's had a leadership role with this group that her, like the senator and him are gonna collide because of that?
No, I don't think so. I think they kind of have a newfound understanding. Since she's, kind of lost her husband and she kind of gave Rick the go-ahead to just, sign her repeat. I think that they kind of, that whether she's completely come to terms with everything that, that Rick is trying to kind of bring to her attention. I think that'll come later, but I think they kind of have, they're kind of finding, kind of a middle ground here where they can move forward together.
Holly.
I foresee Rick stepping into Deanna's shoes. I foresee her, realizing that he's stronger. He's been out there. He's endured. He's a leader because she's a leader because that's what she's accustomed to, and she was put in a position of power over Alexandria. But now here comes Rick and his group, and he's street savvy. He's a leader. He's the one that should be in her position. I see them together, but I foresee him taking over.
Adrian.
Oh well, I'm gonna set aside what I know from the comic books, and I'll answer this from watching TV show. I think that no, I don't think they're going to collide. I don't think anything like that because she gave Rick a bigger power, not bigger than her, but a bigger power than the civilian with the constable thing. And I don't know. Next season may be different because I feel like Deanna stepped back of what happened to her husband, and she also just lost her son. So I think she'll take a step back, do the depression thing that we see with characters. I feel like Rick will step into her shoes, and if stuff happens, I feel like he would try to do something about it, while she just sits in her room or her house or something.
That kind of makes sense. So Eugene tonight and Abraham finally talked about the Washington situation. Do you feel like that finally put some clarity and fixed them, or do you still feel like there's an issue there? I'm gonna start with go ahead. Whoever started, go ahead.
Fix it.
All right.
They kind of Eugene. What?
Go ahead.
Sorry. I think they fixed it. Eugene confessed and said, hey, the bottom line is, maybe I didn't know what I was talking about, but I needed you. And I think you needed me. And they did. And men aren't, always great at discussing that kind of stuff or admitting when they need help. But I think they did. I think they've got a clear path to move forward.
Okay, I think that was Jamie, so Holly.
Yeah, I think the brain and the bone is made up. I think they're in a good place now. They understand that neither one of them are going anywhere, and it's not beneficial to either of them to, hash out any longer. So I think it's squashed.
Adrian.
Yeah, I think it's good as well. And I think Abraham, I think he always, not always, but I feel like he still, even after what Eugene told him, I still feel like he would do anything to protect him. We saw with the water, he smacked the water out of Eugene's hand. I feel like even after what they went through, I feel like they became close friends. But Abraham was he was too big-headed to say it. And you saw that he wasn't going to be the first one to apologize. Eugene was the one to have apologized.
I tell you what, did y'all really think somebody big died, like we know no one did, but who did you think was gonna die? If you had, if you were really dead set on someone dying tonight, who died?
I really thought Daryl was.
Jamie.
I was hoping he was as well.
You so much
It needs to happen.
Oh, God. Just
Jamie?
for the record, I would still watch.
Huh?
Just for the record, I would still watch.
Yeah. I mean, who do you think was gonna die though?
I thought it was probably going to be Carol or Daryl. That's the third one. Those three, I thought.
Holly?
I was hoping for Father Gabriel now.
Yeah.
This is Holly.
Alright. Jamie?
I was thinking that probably Sasha was gonna die, and I was hoping that Father Gabriel was gonna keep it off, but maybe in October.
Yeah, I forgot about Sasha. I was thinking she was going to die too, just because, you know, she was pregnant. Nicole Martin Reed was pregnant. And so I was thinking they were going to kill her off because she got pregnant, you know, and needed to go keep the show. But that's the only reason I thought they were going to kill her off.
Yeah, they had her, like, baby bump really good until, like, this episode. Like, you could tell her baby bump was, like, really big this episode. It didn't seem like they tried to hide it.
What about,
Well,
go ahead.
I was thinking that they were trying to find her pregnant and she's going to be pregnant with mom. So, I mean, I've had different theories on her.
Yeah.
What about,
Bob died. You know, I some kind of sense she was going to be pregnant.
how about Glenn? Do y'all think, like, at any point tonight he was a goner?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're like it that didn't know.
Huh?
I did.
Oh, okay. Jamie?
I mean, you see all the walkers falling on it, and then you're like, well, how the hell is he going to get himself out of bed?
I kind of like to know how he got out of that.
I know. I was wondering. That,
I feel like Nicholas did, like, try to help. No, never mind. I was going to say I feel like he tried to help him, but never mind. I forgot that. Because I forgot about the scene that, when Nicholas walked off and Glenn put the gun to stuff. Because you see Glenn carrying Nicholas' bag, so, like, you thought maybe Nicholas helped Glenn, but no. I forgot about that scene.
well, see, I was hoping, like, Glenn was to the point that Rick is, where he's like, you know what, no bullshit, you're dead. Like, Glenn is not to that point. I mean, he needs to be. Like, he should have shot that dude. But he's not. I don't think he's there. I think he's there in a lot of ways, but not 100%.
So, out of the original people that, you know, was on the first season that's still here, I know who y'all gonna say, I think, but who's still the purest? Or the most innocent, I guess. Who's still the most innocent?
Oh, Lord. Carl.
Good for you, Glenn.
If next season, you know, like this season, we saw flashbacks of certain characters, like the governor and stuff like that. Who would you like to see a flashback of?
Gabriel.
Yeah, Amy and Andrea.
Okay.
The Morales family. And I want to know more on their story. Like, I want to know what happened to them.
Who?
The Morales family.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something later down the road, you know, we might find out somewhere. You never know. We might get off movie on them or something, which could be cool. Okay, so we're kind of gonna get into rap mode here. All three of y'all have been at Walker Stalker Con. Okay, so I got about 3 questions on that. One, Eric is retiring. from the Walker Stalker podcast. Which, it's very saddening that he's actually retiring. But where's the con go from there now? Jamie.
I think it keeps going. I mean, Rick, Rick. Eric's not leaving completely. He's not dying. He's just kind of shifting his focus for a little bit. He's still, completely behind the con, and James has also been there from the beginning. He's going. We're still family, and we'll still see him and hear from him from time to time. It's sad, and won't be the same, but we'll keep going.
Adrian.
Yeah, we're Jamie, so we'll keep going. James has also been there since the beginning, so yeah, keep going.
Well,
the film will still be very successful, especially since they just partnered with Sky, which is really awesome. So yeah, we'll keep going. I mean, yeah, it's really sad. James was a really big part. I never really talked to James that much, but I talked more of Eric, and Eric was a really awesome guy. So hopefully I get to talk to James and get to know him better as well.
Holly?
Yeah, I mean, it can only get bigger and better. I mean, it's, 2 years old? I mean, look at the progression that it's made in 2 years.
That's true.
I mean, they're expanding their shows, and, they got Freddy Krueger and Jason, and, I mean, it can only get bigger and better. And Eric, he's a big part of Walker Stalker. He's the reason we have it. He and James. And I'm sad to see him go. I mean, Eric, I saw him speak to some of the cast members, and he turned around and spoke to me in the same way he spoke to the cast members. So, I mean, I have the utmost respect for Eric, and I hate to see him go. But, I mean, he's a family man, and he wants to focus more on pictures outside of the con, and I respect that.
Who do you think's replacing him on the actual podcast? If you can see somebody replacing him, who would it be? And I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction. I like to see Brad take over.
Hacksaw, I see Hacksaw Jack.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Hacksaw.
Alright. Jamie?
Wait. Adrian, did you say that? What did you say?
I said Hacksaw.
I put it all in. It sounded like you said Herschel, and I thought, what? Wait, what are you thinking of cast member?
Happy birthday, Scott Wilson.
That would be awesome.
Happy birthday, Scott Wilson.
Yeah, Scott Wilson would be great. Definitely, Brad, or you could even do three. Just put Mike in it too, and the Three Stooges, and it's great.
So with the cons, every year, they are getting bigger, they're getting better. They're supposed to be announcing 2 more territories. Still hoping Nashville. But on that note, who's a celebrity that you really want to see at this con? I'm gonna start with you, Adrian.
Ooh, someone who hasn't been there before?
Yes.
I really like to see any of the American Horror Story cast. Alexandria Breckenridge, who plays Jessie on The Walking Dead, she was in American Horror Story in 2 seasons, so that'd be really cool to see her. But mainly any American Horror Story cast, because I really love American Horror Story as well.
Holly?
I think I'm kind of indifferent, but I have a lot of friends that like to see the cast of Gotham. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Stephen Amell there either from Arrow. But I'd say the cast of Gotham.
Jamie?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm really kind of indifferent too. I guess going off the shows and kind of the cast that's been showing up is something. I think it was Chicago where there were several lost cast members. From when I did watch Lost, I didn't finish it because frankly I was too lost to keep track of what was going on. But I've always loved Matthew Fox. You know, growing up in the 90s, I watched Party of Five. I mean, so it's fun with, you know, the shows that they're already doing in cast members. I would love for Matthew Fox to come. But other than that, I'm pretty indifferent. Just, you know, keep the charisma.
I tell you, a group cast I would like to see. I would like to see them bring Firefly, the cast from that show, in. Just because that was a show that didn't get a long life, but it came really great after it died off. Which that's a lot of shows, unfortunately. Next, final question. And we kind of know this, but I kind of want to. Being a part of Walker Stalker Con, Lando's going to be my third Walker Stalker Con. I don't know how many for y'all, but every time you go and you see the same people, is it like being a part of a family, or is it like being around your friends?
I feel like it's a family. I mean, it's a little family in itself. I mean, it's always weird, but I mean, you work with these people. I mean, you're not just paid. Nobody's there, you know, harping on you. You're there to do a job. You know what you're there to do. You do your job, but you make friends and you have fun because you don't have somebody harping on you, you know, chomping at the bit, you know, telling you what to do. Or if they do, they don't do it in a manner which you find offensive. So it's easy to make friends with, you know, even those higher up. Because, I mean, you're around each other all the time. You have a common interest, and your common interest is to, you know, make sure everybody has a good time at the con, and, you know, guests enjoy themselves, and, I mean, you can have the experience of a lifetime. I mean, it really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Well, for some of us, it's more than once. But, I mean, you get what I'm saying. It's definitely an opportunity. Definitely.
How many times have you been?
I've only been once, and I was supposed to go to Orlando. I was selected to Orlando, but fellow volunteer Bailey Ann asked me to view her wedding in November, exactly 2 weeks after Atlanta. So I can't afford to go to Orlando, but I'm going to Atlanta for sure.
Which me and you have that in common, unfortunately. Like, because as you know, I know Bailey from Atlanta, so she rode with. But Adrian, how do you feel about it?
Yeah. I feel like it's one big happy family. We all get along. Hopefully, some of us may not, but it's different.
I think they've weeded out most of them.
Yeah, it is one big happy family. We all get along. Like what Holly was saying. We are there to do a job, but it's also fun. There's the volunteer family, then there's like the core family, but we all know that we're one big family all together, the Walker Stalker family. So, that being that, it's fun to do, and if you get chosen, you should do it, and just have the best week of your life. It's the most amazing experience I've ever had.
How many have you done?
There's a difference in your Walking Dead family and your Walker Stalker family.
Yeah.
Because those who have never been, even as a guest, don't understand what it is. Yeah. I mean, they get the general concept, but they don't quite understand, you know, everything you get to witness. That, you know, have your camera out at any moment, because literally somebody usually walk by you and, you know, snap a picture. You just never know. I mean, if they've never been, they don't know. So I think there's a difference in your Walker Stalker family and your Walking Dead family.
Again, so Adrian, how many have you done?
I attended the 2014 Chicago, and then I volunteered. Dallas was my fourth one.
So, fourth one. I'm not sure if you don't mind, I'm gonna share a story that I'm pretty sure you remember. Me and you worked together in Chicago. We worked the what's the concert we worked? Channel Riggs concert, and we had like a little.
Oh yeah.
The issue with the cast of the with we had a line of people waiting to go in, and
Yeah, that
security
was one big mess.
pushed everybody that had tickets outside. So we let people in and we started, and we were like 10 minutes from being done. We found out that there was like 25 people outside waiting to get in. That was a nightmare, but there was a situation there that I know you remember. This girl came up and she started crying because that broke my heart.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, I'm glad we were able to work them out too.
Yeah.
For all of them.
But Chandler Riggs, I mean, he took his time, and that's what made me so happy. He took his time out and took a couple pictures with her and talked with her first. Like, that made her day. So.
Well, and see, that's the benefit of working walkie-talkie form, is you get to get up close and personal with the cast members, and you form your own opinion of the ones that go above and beyond for their fans. You can, I mean, I would never say names, but you can tell who does it for the fans and who does it for the person.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, you'll always be able to see that when you work up and close with them. And some of them, they're so nice. I mean, you don't even have to ask them for an autograph; they'll offer you because they know you're there to help. And then you have others that, when it's time to go, they want to go.
Well, that's like T-Dog. T-Dog, like, every single person that came through his line, he hugged them and, like, grabbed their face and talked to them, wanted to look at them.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like, he wanted to touch everybody. Like, no matter what, he had to touch them. And I was just
and
like...
And then you get the ones who remember names. Like, you'll be working, close with them to talent, and you'll remember these people.
Yeah.
And that's you can tell. It's a good thing to note to yourself.
Jamie. Got quiet.
What I have done, first, I guess to answer the question, I think it's a little bit of both. It's a family, but you're also friends. Like, it's one of those families that you choose. We don't get to choose our regular family members, but these are family members that, for the most part, you choose. And every time that I go, the closer you get to connect, a little bit more with different people. And it's the funniest thing in the world. And I've done conventions, for other shows. And, I was conned into watching The Walking Dead by a good friend of mine. And when he sat me down and made me watch the first episode, I never would have dreamed that I would have loved the show so much that I would start doing conventions and live then my year by counting down days to the next one where I got to go and work. Yes. And it's so much fun. And this Orlando will be my fourth. It should have been my fifth. I ended up not doing New Jersey. So it'll be my fourth one actually working. But I feel like one of the luckiest people in the world, especially, mine. I'm going to brag a little bit. I'm lucky enough to get to work with Michael Cudlitz at every single convention that I want to do. And he, like Holly said, you see, how real and how, you just watching them connect with people. I mean, people come through there crying, that they've spent money, just to meet these people. You get to see those moments, and it's awesome. You're making someone's day. It really is. It's one of the most fantastic things. We're really lucky.
And now, Jamie, me and you met in Atlanta. Like, we talked briefly. I barely remember you, but I do remember you. But I remember Atlanta. that was my first one. I was really nervous, and you were one of the first few people to talk to me.
Oh.
That, cause,
That's when I talked.
Cause it was with the pre-con. It was when we were doing setup.
Yep.
And I was like, there with my goofy tall friend that looked like a werewolf. And like, I did not know what to expect. I walked into this going, okay, I'm just a Tennessee nerd that likes The Walking Dead. I'm here, and I don't know what to do.
That was me. I was like,
So I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Honestly, I've actually made a lot of friends with it. One of them is definitely I rode with someone rode with me to Atlanta, which Holly knows really good, Miss Bailey. She became a really good friend of mine. She's actually, I was really unexpected. Like, I didn't know her from anybody, but she rode with me, and she wound up being one of the coolest people that I met.
And that's when we worked together at Walker's Bunker with White Smoker with Melissa Cowan. And Bailey became my best friend. And that's whose wedding I'm going to be in November. We were maid of honor. So, yeah, you really get.
Well, the thing is, I never thought I would start a page called Walker Stalker Roommate and Car Finder,
yeah.
which Adrian came up with that part of the name. So gotta give him props on that. Which Adrian is one of my administrators for this, and which I had to pick people, and I thought, well, I was like, I always seen how energetic he was at the con, so I went, okay, he has to be one. So, because you all like, even like you see him bouncing around everywhere, but he's always smiling. So like, he's always happy, and that's something I noticed about him there. So that was awesome. Like, that to me, like, all of y'all, like I've met y'all briefly, but like all of y'all like made an impact on me, because I could see y'all's love for the show and the actors that you see. You're just like, wow.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's above. It goes on beyond love.
It's a commitment. I mean, when you volunteer, you commit yourself and your time and your money to do this.
Yeah.
And it's, it's for the convention, and it's for the show, and it's for the fans. And, maybe a little bit for yourself. I mean,
well, and that's like, I went and like I started out as security, and like in Atlanta Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I worked with Jason Manoa, and like I was like, okay, who's this guy? Because I've never seen him before. But then like I started talking to him, and he started telling me stuff he was in, and I was like, oh yeah, I watched that, and I watched that. I remember you, and it was just like seeing his attitude. Like, he was really awesome, but like if he had nobody in his line, he didn't want to be sitting at his table, because he didn't like looking at empty lines. So like stuff like that, like you kind of go, okay, like, it's understandable, because you don't want to feel like you're not important, I guess.
yeah, that's when they mingle. And they'll go around and, say hey to the other guys. Like, that's how I got my selfie with Scott Wilson. Scott Wilson was taking his rounds, saying hey to the other cast members that he worked with. And he happened to pass by where I was working, and I was like, hey, Scott, my time, did we do a selfie? And he was like, okay. And I mean, just like I said, you never know who was going to walk by. Like, you just look up, and there is, I mean, like, Chad Coleman. Never know.
I can't ask you this question, Holly, but I can ask Jamie and Adrian this question. Out of the different cons you've worked from, is each city you go to, is it a different experience, or is it the same? I'm gonna ask Jamie first.
A little bit of both. A
Okay.
little bit of both. I mean, it's the same, but a little bit better, I think.
Okay.
You know.
Adrian?
Yeah, it's awesome each time. There's going to be different things that happen each convention. Where it's like you'll meet this character this time, a different character this time, or you'll meet more friends one time, or you'll meet other ones that you haven't seen since 2 cities ago. So yeah, it just I won't say it depends, but like every city's gonna be different. You meet new people, you meet new friends. But it's always the same like aroma, I guess, that you get being around many different fans and people who enjoy the same stuff that you do.
Well, I have a question. Okay, some of the cons have been in southern, in southern cities. Is there a difference? Can you also a difference in the patrons? Like, are some nicer? Are the southern ones nicer than the other ones? Do you get that sort of hospitality in Atlanta?
I know the South people are really awesome.
I've heard Boston was rough. Boston, like New York and New Jersey, was rough.
Yeah, New Jersey. I'm not trying down New Jersey or New York, but like some of the people are like really rude. The fans, not.
Well, I mean that's a general fact, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that reflects on the con. That reflects on the general, area and the patrons.
Yeah.
That was nothing y'all could tell.
And definitely like Orlando, I think that's gonna be a whole nother experience just because that's a vacation town during the summer. So we're gonna see all kinds of people there for that one. Question about Orlando though. How many of y'all are going up to actually check out the towns early for that?
Well, yeah, I'm going to try to this year.
Huh? What was that?
Okay. I said I'll try to this year. Yeah, I want to. I didn't get a chance to last year, but this year I will.
What about you, Adrian?
No.
I'm actually gonna go up one day early because I know in Orlando I want to go to SeaWorld. So just because I've never been or Universal or Disney World or something like that. Say I went because I have a funny feeling I won't be able to go next year. So, but Chicago's gonna be a definitely. Huh?
I'm just going early to Orlando so I can go to the pool. I live in Ohio and it's still winter, even though it's supposed to be spring. We had heat and snow today, so I'm ready for some sunshine.
Well, hopefully we'll have some soon. I'm tired of this cold weather and I'm tired of my allergies kicking my butt. So on that note, I'm gonna run. Basically, I'm gonna ask 2 questions to end the show. I do this to everybody I have on here, but I have to do this to y'all. I'm gonna ask the first question. I'm gonna go in order. I'm gonna start with Holly. What is your favorite toy as a child?
My favorite toy as a child. Let me think for a minute. I don't know. I did so much playing outside as a child that, probably not.
Okay.
That's how that was my cell phone. That was how I communicated with my friends. Probably my bike.
Adrian.
Always my Power Rangers, action figures, stuff like that.
Jamie.
My Barbie dolls.
I knew it.
Millions. I used to take my books and build house. I had a huge 3-story Barbie house, but I used to take books and I think my mom wanted to kill me sometimes because she'd come upstairs and there'd be homemade Barbie house all throughout the upstairs for my Barbie. I had a good life.
Oh. Okay. So last question: if The Walking Dead, I know y'all gonna get sad on this question, but if The Walking Dead show ended today, who would be? I heard the sadness there. Who would be the biggest star to walk away from that show? I'm gonna start with Holly.
Andrew Lincoln, 100%. He was underestimated in the get-go. I mean, yeah, you could have put Thomas Jane there, and if we didn't know Andrew Lincoln and Rick Grimes, you know, we could have had Thomas Jane and Rick Grimes, and it would have fit perfect. But, you know, Andrew Lincoln, I didn't actually realize it was him from Love Actually. Like, I loved that movie back in the day. And up until, like, season 2, I didn't realize it was him. But I think, you know, he's underestimated. I think, you know, he's a great actor. He's believable. I mean, you honestly believe he's Rick Grimes. And when you see him, you almost go like, wow, he doesn't have the beard. He's not wearing this. You know, like, where is that? Because he's Rick Grimes. I mean, I think, you know, I think he was underestimated. He's at a good point now.
Jamie.
But
Hello?
agree with this, and he was, you know, unless you watch, you know, Boondocks or anything like that, he was relatively unheard of. So a lot of people, I mean, I don't think either one of them would have a hard time.
So Norman Reedus for you. Okay.
Smelly. Andy every time.
As much as I hate to say it, probably Norman Reedus.
I think, honestly, I know y'all gonna probably all disagree with me, but I think... Oh, guess who just joined in last minute here on You Now? Randy. A little late. But mine would probably be Carl. Just because, to me, he's kind of grown up on the show, and he's not a normal childhood star. So I could see him getting into, like, a lot more serious roles and, like, doing some stuff that would be unbelievable.
And he's young. He has so much to do.
Yeah. I tell you, I would like to see him get, like, when he gets older, like to get in some, like, the like remakes of some of these, like, serious shows, like serious movies, like they do remakes of. Like maybe like the Godfather. He'd be good like as one of the mafia people.
He's Southern. I don't see that.
Yeah, but Southern people were the ones that played in a lot of those Godfather movies. If you look at it.
See, I don't know about the Godfather.
But on that note, does anybody have any last minute stuff they want to throw out there?
Bye, Eric. Hashtag porch stick is limp. And Walker's Con.
Alright, Adrian.
Season 5 has been really great. It's been a great run. Can't wait for season 6.
Alright, and Holly. Not Holly.
That was
JB.
Kind of with Adrian. It's been a great season. Just probably the best season to boot because, you know, we started clear back at Terminus. So it's been a great season. So hurry up October.
So before we officially end this podcast, I'm about to end it. I gotta ask, would y'all be willing to come back and do a podcast right after the companion show airs?
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Because I have a funny feeling that's going to be such a great show. Definitely, it's going to change the landscape of Walking Dead. And definitely look forward to talking to y'all guys again. Thank you again. Real quick, I'm going to give you a chance to promote yourself before we cut off. We'll start with you, Adrian. If people wanted to follow you on Twitter or Facebook, how can they find you?
My Facebook is Adrian Solomon, and then my Instagram or Twitter is yes_I am_Batman. Yes, I know it's the coolest username ever.
Alright, Jamie, how about you?
Facebook is just Jamie Lashway, and Twitter is JamieLM3.
And Holly, you have a little bit more to promote, so go ahead.
Well, it's Holly Weiner on Facebook, and it's at Holly Girls A on Twitter. And then I also have a page called All Things Walkers. We're a little selective about membership, just, to alleviate some drama and try to keep our numbers low. So we do screen for applicants. But if you'd like to join, head on over and we'll check out.
All right. And thank y'all for joining this, I guess I was going to say country boy, but I'm not really a country boy. I'm far from it. But thanks for joining me tonight. Definitely look forward to seeing whoever I see in Atlanta and Orlando. But y'all have been awesome. Thank y'all for doing this. And gotta tell Randy real quick, thank you for tuning in last minute. We will have this up tomorrow. I'm sorry you couldn't be a part of it, but thank you for at least tuning in for the last few minutes. And thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for calling in, and y'all have a good night. And geek on, everybody.